GAZ-66, the history of a Soviet legend. Today, I will tell you about one of the most famous Soviet military trucks, the GAZ-66, which many people know by its nickname, Shishiga. Imagine a vehicle that could travel where roads did not exist at all. A vehicle that served in the Soviet army, took part in the Afghan war, and is still in operation in various countries around the world today. That is exactly what the GAZ-66 is. Its history began in the 1950s, when the Soviet Union needed a new high-mobility truck to replace the aging GAZ-63. Engineers started developing an entirely new design. The main innovation was the cab-over-engine layout, which made the vehicle more compact and significantly improved its off-road capability. On July 1, 1964, the GAZ-66 officially entered mass production. The vehicle was equipped with a 4.25-liter V8 gasoline engine producing approximately 120 horsepower. Despite its relatively modest power output, the GAZ-66 was renowned for its exceptional off-road capability. It could traverse mud, snow, sand, and mountainous terrain in places where other trucks would come to a stop. In the Soviet Army, the GAZ-66 served a wide variety of roles. It was used as a cargo carrier, a communications vehicle, a mobile workshop, a medical unit, and even as a platform for missile systems. In 1979, following the outbreak of the Soviet-Afghan War, the GAZ-66 was extensively employed in military operations. However, it became evident that its cab-over-engine design was not always an advantage. In the event of a landmine explosion, the driver and passenger were often the most vulnerable. As a result, some military units gradually shifted to using the Ural 4320 more frequently. Between 1964 and 1999, nearly 1 million GAZ-66 trucks were produced. This was an enormous production figure for a Soviet military truck. Now, let's take a look at why the GAZ-66 became so popular. The GAZ-66 was powered by a 4.25-liter V8 gasoline engine that produced approximately 120 horsepower. The engine was paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. The vehicle had a gross weight of about 5.8 tons, while its payload capacity was 2 tons. On paved roads, it could reach a maximum speed of approximately 90 to 100 km per hour. The GAZ-66's greatest advantage was its off-road capability. It featured permanent four-wheel drive and an almost ideal weight distribution between the front and rear axles, thanks to the cab being positioned directly above the engine. It could easily traverse mud, deep snow, sand, and mountainous terrain where conventional trucks were completely helpless. This was largely due to its high ground clearance of 315 mm, the distance between the vehicle's lowest point and the ground. This allowed the truck to overcome rocks, deep ruts, and other challenging obstacles with ease. Another important advantage was the centralized tire pressure regulation system. When the vehicle encountered mud or sand, the driver could reduce the tire pressure directly from the cab. As a result, the tire's contact area with the ground increased, allowing the vehicle to gain better traction and reducing the risk of sinking into soft surfaces. The GAZ-66 was also capable of crossing water obstacles up to approximately 1 meter deep without special preparation and could climb slopes of up to 30 degrees, making it exceptionally effective in challenging terrain. Advantages: excellent off-road capability, short wheelbase and good maneuverability, reliability in harsh conditions, simple design and easy repairs, low maintenance requirements. Disadvantages: high fuel consumption. One of the main drawbacks of the GAZ-66 was its high fuel consumption, as it was equipped with a 4.25-liter V8 gasoline engine. Average fuel consumption figures were: highway driving, 24 to 30 liters per 100 kilometers, mixed driving conditions, 30 to 35 liters per 100 kilometers, heavy off-road use, mud, or mountainous terrain, 40 liters per 100 kilometers or more. The vehicle had a total fuel capacity of approximately 210 liters, 2 fuel tanks, providing a driving range of roughly 600 to 800 kilometers, depending on operating conditions. Cab layout and comfort. Another disadvantage was the cab-over-engine design, with the cab positioned directly above the front axle. This made the vehicle less safe for the crew, particularly in the event of a mine explosion or a severe front-end impact. In addition, the GAZ 66 offered a relatively low level of comfort compared to many other trucks. The GAZ 66 was also widely used in Georgia during the Soviet era. Since Georgia was part of the Soviet Union, these trucks were deployed in Soviet Army units, border guard forces, and various military installations across the country. After Georgia gained independence in the 1990s, the newly established Georgian Armed Forces inherited a significant portion of the military equipment left behind by the Soviet Army, including numerous GAZ 66 trucks. The GAZ 66 proved especially useful in Georgia's mountainous regions. Despite challenging terrain, lack of roads, and harsh weather conditions, the vehicle successfully carried out military, rescue, and logistical missions. It was also widely used in agriculture, forestry, and timber transportation throughout various regions of the country, including Ajara, Svaneti, Kakiti, Semskijavakiti, and Kvimo-Kartli. Later, as Georgia began acquiring more modern Western military equipment, the number of GAZ 66 trucks in service with the Georgian military gradually declined. After a successful 35-year production run, the GAZ 66 officially ceased production on July 1, 1999. By that time, nearly 1 million vehicles had been manufactured, making it one of the most widely produced all-wheel-drive military trucks in the Soviet Union. It was replaced by the more modern GAZ 3308 Sadko, which was introduced by the Gorky automobile plant. Later, the even more advanced Sadko next appeared. However, the legend of the GAZ 66 did not end there. Even today, thousands of these vehicles remain in service around the world. Many have been converted into expedition and overlanding vehicles, while others continue to perform demanding work in remote and challenging environments. GAZ 66 is featured quite frequently in video games. Some of the most famous games that feature the GAZ 66 are Spin Tires, Mud Runner, Snow Runner, Call of Duty, Black Ops.
Subscribe to the channel and watch interesting videos.
This brings our video to an end. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for our next review of another legendary truck. Thank you for watching.